What if the most attractive and respectable strength a man can possess is not his ability to command the world around him, but his unwavering ability to command himself? In a world of emotional turbulence, what if the quality that inspires the deepest trust and admiration is a quiet, calm, and unshakable inner solidity? This is the nature of the emotionally solid man. And today, we will learn how to build that foundation from the ground up. Why Women Respect Emotionally Solid Men, compiled and published by Stoic Power. Lesson 1. Foundations of Emotional Resilience. Imagine a tall, majestic mountain. It has stood in the same spot for millennia, a silent witness to 1,000 raging storms, the searing heat of summer, and the biting cold of winter. Now imagine a simple weather vane perched atop a barn. It is designed to spin and point in the direction of every single gust of wind, no matter how slight. Its entire existence is one of constant, frantic reaction to the changing weather. The deep and often unconscious inner conflict for many men is that we are taught to navigate our emotional lives like the weather vane. We build our sense of well-being and our inner state on the shifting, unpredictable winds of external factors. A partner's mood, a boss's approval, the outcome of a game, the fluctuations of the stock market. We believe it is normal and even necessary to be spun around by these external forces. The painful and debilitating problem with this approach is that it makes a man emotionally dependent and fundamentally unreliable, both to himself and to others. When your inner peace is contingent on your partner being in a good mood or on receiving praise at work, you have outsourced your own stability. You live in a state of constant, low-grade anxiety, always monitoring the external weather, desperately hoping for a calm day. This creates a deeply insecure foundation, and this insecurity is palpable to everyone around you. It makes others feel as though they have to manage your emotions, as if they are walking on eggshells, which is the very antithesis of respect. An emotionally volatile man, like a spinning weather vane, offers no solid ground, no reliable direction, and no safe harbor in a storm. The transformative solution is to make the profound and life-altering decision to stop being the weather vane and to start becoming the mountain. It is the Stoic journey of building an internal foundation for your peace, one that is so deep and so solid that the winds of circumstance can howl around you, but they cannot move you. The core idea is the foundational Stoic principle of the dichotomy of control, which is the bedrock of all emotional resilience. This ancient wisdom teaches us to divide all of life into two clear domains, that which is within our absolute control and that which is not. The weather, the economy, and most importantly, the feelings and actions of other people are all outside our control. The only things that are ever truly within our control are our own considered judgments, our chosen responses, and the integrity of our own character. The emotionally solid man builds his self-worth and his inner peace exclusively on the firm ground of what he can control. The benefit of this is the ultimate form of personal freedom. You become your own source of stability. Your peace is no longer a fragile object that can be shattered by a careless word or an unfortunate event. It becomes an unshakable inner state that you cultivate and command. This creates a powerful, quiet presence that naturally inspires trust and respect. The actionable step to begin building this foundation is to practice the inner ground exercise. Each evening for 1 week, take 5 minutes with a journal. Create 2 columns. In the first column, labeled External Weather, list 1 or 2 external events from your day that influenced your mood. E.g., my partner seemed distant, I got positive feedback on a project. In the second column, labeled Inner Ground, list 1 or 2 things you did that were entirely within your control and that you can be proud of, regardless of the outcome. E.g., I remained patient in traffic, I spoke honestly during a difficult conversation, I kept my promise to go to the gym. This simple exercise begins to retrain your brain to seek its validation and sense of accomplishment from your own actions, not from the unpredictable reactions of the world. You are consciously shifting your source of self-esteem from the external weather to your inner ground. With consistent practice, you will start to feel the immense, quiet strength of the mountain. you will feel your roots growing deeper into the solid ground of your own character. I urge you to begin this practice tonight. This is the essential first step to becoming the kind of emotionally solid man that others can depend on, precisely because he does not depend on them for his own peace. A solid foundation is crucial, but a man must also understand the architecture of his own mind. How do we develop the self-awareness to know our own weak points and strengths? Our next lesson is on the strength of self-awareness. Before we proceed, please subscribe to the Stoic Power channel to commit to this foundational work. Lesson 2. The strength of self-awareness. Imagine a man who has lived his entire life in a large, beautifully furnished house, but he has never once turned on the lights. He stumbles through his days in complete darkness. He constantly bumps into the same furniture, trips over the same rugs, and can never find what he is looking for. He is frustrated and confused by his own home, and he often blames the furniture for being in his way. Now, imagine that same man finally finds the courage to flip a single light switch. Suddenly, the entire layout of the house is revealed to him. He can see the obstacles clearly, he understands the pathways, and he can navigate his own space with ease, purpose, and confidence. The inner conflict for many men is that we live in the dark within the house of our own minds. We lack the self-awareness to understand our own inner workings. The painful problem that arises from this lack of self-awareness is that we are mysteries, even to ourselves. We act in ways that are confusing and often destructive, driven by emotional triggers, hidden beliefs, and unconscious patterns that we have never examined. We get defensive, but don't know why. We procrastinate on our most important goals, but can't articulate the fear that's holding us back. We pick the same arguments with our partners over and over again, as that like a man repeatedly bumping into the same coffee table in the dark. This makes us appear inconsistent, irrational, and untrustworthy to others, especially to those closest to us. How can someone respect a man who clearly does not understand himself? His actions seem random and unpredictable because the motivations behind them are hidden, even from him. The transformative solution is to decide to become the man who is brave enough to turn on the lights. It is the courageous and essential practice of rigorous self-examination to explore the layout of your own mind so that you can navigate it with wisdom and mastery. The core Stoic idea is that you simply cannot master a machine that you do not understand. Self-awareness is the user's manual for your own mind. The Stoics were dedicated to this practice, constantly examining their own thoughts, judgments, and impressions to understand why they felt and acted the way they did. They knew that without this clear-eyed self-knowledge, virtue and tranquility were impossible. The benefit of this is that you move from being a confused passenger in your own life to being a confident and knowledgeable driver. You begin to understand the why behind your actions. This allows you to take ownership of your patterns, to anticipate your weaknesses, and to consciously choose different behaviors. This self-awareness is perceived by others as a sign of deep maturity and strength. The actionable step to begin turning on the lights is to practice the emotional audit. At the end of each day, for 1 week, choose one strong emotional reaction you had during the day. It could be a moment of anger, a spike of anxiety, or a feeling of deep frustration. In your journal, become a detective and trace that emotion back to its source. Ask yourself these probing questions. What was the specific event that triggered this feeling? What story did I immediately tell myself about that event? What deeper belief or insecurity within me did that story touch upon? Why did that really bother me? For example, I felt intense anger when my idea was criticized at work. The trigger was the criticism. The story was, my boss thinks I'm an idiot. The deeper insecurity it touched was my fear of being seen as incompetent. By performing this emotional audit regularly, you will begin to map out your own inner house. You will learn where the furniture is. You will become intimately familiar with your own triggers and insecurities. This awareness is not about judgment. It is about gathering the necessary intelligence to master yourself. I challenge you to perform your first emotional audit tonight. Turn on one light. See what it reveals. Self-awareness helps us understand our reactions, but how do we gain control over them in the heat of the moment? Our next lesson is on mastering control over your reactions. If you are ready to explore your own inner world, please comment below and share one thing you are committed to understanding about yourself. Lesson 3. Mastering control over reactions. Picture a bomb disposal expert, hands steady, brow beaded with sweat, working to defuse a complex and dangerous device. The timer is ticking down. The pressure is immense. A novice in this situation would panic. They would react to the fear, cut the wrong wire, and cause the very explosion they were trying to prevent. The expert, however, has trained for this moment. She has disciplined her nervous system to remain calm under extreme pressure. She feels the fear, but she is not controlled by it. She deliberately creates a space of profound calm and focus around her, allowing her to assess the situation, think clearly, and take the precise, life-saving actions required. The inner conflict we face in our relationships and our lives is that we are often the panicked novice when dealing with the explosive moments of conflict or stress. The painful problem is that in moments of high emotional charge, an argument with a partner, a public criticism, a sudden crisis, our rational brain is hijacked by our primal fear center, the amygdala. We are thrown into a reactive fight, flight, or freeze state. In this state, we are incapable of making wise decisions. We say hurtful things we can't take back. We make impulsive choices that sabotage our goals. We shut down and withdraw when connection is most needed. We cut the wrong wire. These emotional reactions, while instinctual, cause immense damage to our relationships and to our own self-respect. Afterward, we are left with the wreckage, wondering why we couldn't just stay calm and handle the situation better. We lose the respect of others because we have proven ourselves to be unsafe and unpredictable in a crisis. The transformative solution is to become the bomb disposal expert of your own mind. It is the deliberate, disciplined practice of creating a space between the emotional trigger and your action, allowing your rational mind to stay in command. The core idea is that your true power as a human being lies not in preventing the initial spark of emotion, the first jolt of fear or anger, but in your godlike ability to choose not to pour gasoline on it. A reaction is an automatic, unconscious process, like a knee-jerk reflex. A response, on the other hand, is a conscious, deliberate choice made by your higher, rational self. The entire practice of Stoicism can be seen as the art of widening the gap between stimulus and response, and living wisely within that sacred space. The benefit of this is that you become the calm, steady hand in any storm. You stop escalating conflicts and start resolving them. You build a deep trust with the people in your life because they know that even when things are difficult, you will remain a rational, respectful, and safe presence. This quality is the very definition of emotional solidity. The actionable step to master this skill is to practice the 10-second rule. This is a form of active, in-the-moment meditation. The next time you are in a conversation and you feel a powerful, reactive urge, the urge to shout, to insult, to defend your ego, you must commit to a mandatory 10 seconds of complete silence before you speak. In those 10 seconds, you will do one thing. Focus all of your attention on your breath. Take one slow, deep inhale and one slow, complete exhale. This tactical pause serves two purposes. It gives the initial wave of emotional adrenaline a moment to crest and pass, and it gives your rational brain, the bomb disposal expert, a chance to get back online. This technique will feel incredibly difficult at first. 10 seconds can feel like an eternity in a heated moment, but with practice, it will become your most powerful communication tool. It is the emergency brake on your emotional reactions. I urge you to commit to trying the 10-second rule just once this week. When you feel the heat rise, give yourself the gift of that pause. Mastering our reactions is about defense. But how do we proactively build relationships where these explosions are less likely to happen? This requires clear boundaries, the focus of our next lesson. To support our channel and the creation of more content like this, please like this video. Lesson 4. The role of boundaries in respect. Imagine a beautiful, meticulously tended garden. It is filled with vibrant flowers, healthy fruit trees, and carefully cultivated plants. Around this garden is a strong, clear, and well-maintained wall with a single, sturdy gate. This wall is not there to imprison the garden. It is there to protect it. It keeps out the wild animals that would trample the flowers and eat the fruit. It defines the space where the gardener can do his work in peace. The wall is what allows the beauty inside to flourish safely. Now imagine a garden with no wall. It is constantly being invaded, its delicate plants trampled, its resources consumed by others. It is a place of chaos and neglect. A man's personal boundaries are the walls around the garden of his life, his time, his energy, and his self-respect. The inner conflict for many is that we are taught that setting boundaries is a selfish act. We fear that saying no will make us seem unkind or uncooperative. The painful problem is that a man without clear, healthy boundaries becomes the garden with no wall. His time is constantly invaded by the demands of others. His energy is drained by people and situations he doesn't truly want to be a part of. He says yes when his soul is screaming no, and then he develops a deep, corrosive resentment towards the very people he is trying to please. This leads to passive-aggressive behavior, burnout, and a profound loss of self-respect. He feels like a doormat, used and unappreciated, but he is the one who laid himself down on the ground. A lack of boundaries does not command respect. It signals to the world that you do not respect your own time, energy, or values enough to protect them. The transformative solution is to understand that healthy boundaries are not acts of selfishness. They are profound acts of self-respect. They are the essential walls that protect your inner peace and allow your own potential to grow. The core Stoic idea is that you must first be the guardian of your own inner citadel. This includes protecting your most valuable and non-renewable resource, your time and your focus. A boundary is simply a rational and respectful declaration of where your property line is, what you are and are not responsible for, and what behavior you will and will not accept from others. It is a form of justice to yourself. The benefit of establishing clear boundaries is that it dramatically improves the quality of your relationships. It eliminates resentment because you are no longer doing things you don't want to do. It teaches others how to treat you with respect. And paradoxically, it often increases intimacy because the other person feels safer knowing exactly where they stand with you. It creates a relationship based on mutual respect, not on obligation or fear. The actionable step is to practice formulating and communicating a boundary with clarity and calm. First, identify one area in your life where a lack of boundaries is causing you resentment or stress. Then use the I feel, I need formula to craft a boundary statement. For example, instead of angrily saying, "You're always interrupting me," a boundary statement would be, "When I'm interrupted while speaking, I feel disrespected. I need to be able to finish my thoughts." Instead of passive-aggressively ignoring calls, "I value my evenings for rest. I need to be unreachable after 8 p.m." The key is to state your need calmly and respectfully, without blaming or attacking the other person. You are not controlling their behavior. You are simply stating what you will do or what you need to protect your own peace. I challenge you this week to identify and write down one healthy boundary you need to set. Practice saying it out loud to yourself. Boundaries protect us from external chaos, but what about the chaos that comes from within? Our next lesson is on cultivating inner peace when our loved ones are in turmoil. If you are ready to build the walls of your own garden, please comment below and share one area where you could use a healthier boundary. Lesson 5. Cultivating inner peace amidst chaos. Imagine again the eye of a hurricane. It is a space of profound and powerful calm, a center of complete stillness, existing in the very heart of a storm of unimaginable fury and chaos. The power of the eye does not come from stopping the storm, but from its ability to remain distinct and centered within it. Now imagine your own inner peace as this eye, and the emotional storm of another person, a partner, a family member, a friend. As the hurricane winds, the inner conflict we face is that when someone we love is in a state of emotional turmoil, our instinct is often to get swept up into their storm. We see their anxiety, their anger, or their sadness, and we allow our own inner state to be dictated by it, losing our own calm center in the process. The painful problem is that when we do this, we are no longer able to help. If your partner is drowning in a sea of anxiety, the last thing they need is for you to jump in and start drowning alongside them. Now there are two people in need of rescue. By sacrificing your own inner peace, you lose your ability to think clearly, to offer wise perspective, and to be a source of genuine strength and stability. You become just another part of the chaos, another boat being tossed in the storm, rather than the steady lighthouse that can guide them to shore. This enmeshment, while often coming from a place of love, ultimately serves no one and erodes respect, as you are seen as emotionally unstable and easily influenced. The transformative solution is to learn how to be the eye of the storm. It is the art of developing a stable inner center of gravity that allows you to be fully present and compassionate with another person's emotional storm, without getting swept away by it. The core Stoic idea here is the crucial distinction between empathy and emotional contagion. Empathy, a key component of the virtue of justice, is the ability to understand and acknowledge another person's feelings. I can see that you are in immense pain right now, and I am here with you. Emotional contagion is unconsciously absorbing and taking on their feelings as your own. You are in pain, and now I am in pain too. The emotionally solid man practices deep empathy while resisting emotional contagion. The benefit of this is that you become a profoundly healing and supportive presence in the lives of others. You become a safe harbor, a place of stability where people know they can bring their storms without fear of capsizing you as well. This builds incredible trust, deepens intimacy, and commands a unique and profound form of respect. The respect given to a man who is strong enough to stand in the fire with you without getting burned. The actionable step is to practice what we can call the observer stance. The next time someone you care about is experiencing a strong emotional storm, take a mental step back. Your mantra should be, "This is their storm, not my storm. My role is not to feel their feelings for them. My role is to be the calm, loving, and stable anchor for them until their storm passes." Focus on your own breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Listen deeply to them, but maintain a small part of your awareness on your own inner state of calm. You are the mountain, observing the weather without becoming the weather. By practicing this, you will learn to hold space for others in a powerful new way. You can offer immense comfort and support precisely because you are not adding your own reactivity to the mix. I urge you to try this stance in your next challenging interaction. Be the anchor, not another boat in the storm. This inner peace is protected by our integrity. What is the connection between consistency, character, and respect? Our next lesson is on the power of integrity. To support our channel's mission, please subscribe to Stoic Power. Lesson 6. The power of integrity and consistency. Imagine you need to cross a deep and dangerous chasm. There are two bridges before you. The first bridge is built of mismatched, rotting planks of wood. Some parts look strong, but others are clearly weak and unreliable. You have no idea which parts will hold your weight. To cross this bridge would be a terrifying gamble. The second bridge is built of solid, hewn stone, each block perfectly fitted with the next. It is solid, predictable, and strong. You can cross this bridge with complete confidence, knowing it will hold your weight in any weather. A man's character is the bridge he offers to the world. His integrity is the quality of its construction. The inner conflict we face is the daily temptation to be the rotting wooden bridge, to cut corners, to be inconsistent, to say one thing and do another. The painful problem is that a man whose words and actions do not align is fundamentally untrustworthy. This is perhaps the fastest and most certain way to lose the respect of others. When you make a promise and break it, when you state a value and then act against it, when you are a different person from one day to the next, you are demonstrating that you are the unreliable wooden bridge. People learn that they cannot put their trust in you, that they cannot depend on your word. This forces them to be guarded and distant, and it makes deep, authentic connection impossible. More tragically, You lose your own self-respect. You know you are not the man you claim to be, and this inner dissonance is a source of deep shame and anxiety. The transformative solution is to commit, with the dedication of a master stonemason, to becoming the stone bridge. It is the unwavering, daily commitment to forging a life of integrity and consistency, where your inner values, your spoken words, and your daily actions are all in perfect, solid alignment. The core Stoic idea is that your character is the only thing that is truly yours, and it is the only thing that matters in the end. Integrity is the bedrock of the Stoic virtue of justice. It is about building a character that is congruent, coherent, and predictable in its goodness. This is the foundation of trust, and trust is the absolute foundation of all lasting respect. The benefit of a life of integrity is that you become a man of immense substance. Your presence is calming because people know you are solid all the way through. There are no hidden weak spots. This builds unshakable trust in all your relationships, from the personal to the professional. But the greatest benefit is internal. You will feel a profound sense of wholeness and peace, the peace that comes from knowing that you are who you say you are. The actionable step to build this stone bridge is to practice with the small promises pact. For 1 week, pay meticulous, almost obsessive attention to every single small promise you make, both to others and to yourself. Things like, I'll call you back in 5 minutes. I'll send that email after lunch. I'll take out the trash tonight, or I will wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Then, treat each of these small promises as a sacred vow. Keep every single one. If you find you cannot, you must proactively and honestly renegotiate the commitment before the deadline passes. Do not simply let it slide. This practice trains you to take your own words seriously. It rebuilds your integrity from the ground up, one small, solid stone at a time. I challenge you to be impeccable with your small promises for 1 full week. Experience the feeling of being a man whose word is like stone. This integrity forms the foundation for our ultimate goal. How do we use our emotional solidity to build the most profound connections possible? Our final lesson will explore this very topic. Please like this video if you are committed to building a life of integrity. Lesson 7. Building deep, respectful connections. Imagine a master gardener who wishes to cultivate a rare and beautiful rose. He knows that the rose needs 2 things to thrive. First, it needs its own deep, strong root system, anchored in rich, healthy soil. This represents a man's own solid, independent character, his integrity, his self-awareness, his resilience. But second, the rose also needs things from the outside. The sunlight of connection, the water of affection, and the open air of vulnerability. A gardener who only focuses on the soil, but keeps the rose in a dark box, will see it wither. A gardener who gives it plenty of light, but plants it in shallow, poor soil, will also see it fail. The inner conflict at the heart of building deep relationships is navigating the balance between our own solidity and the vulnerability required for true connection. The painful problem is that many men, in their quest to become emotionally solid, misinterpret the goal and become a cold, distant stone wall. They believe that being strong means being invulnerable, impenetrable, and never showing any emotion or need. This closes them off from the very intimacy and connection they often crave. On the other hand, a man with no inner solidity who tries to be vulnerable often comes across as needy and emotionally draining. He is the rootless plant, desperately seeking all of its stability and nourishment from the other person. Neither the stone wall nor the needy vine can create a deep, respectful, and thriving connection. The transformative solution is the final and most beautiful synthesis of all our work. To use your inner solidity, your deep roots, as the safe and stable foundation from which you can courageously and skillfully offer genuine connection, empathy, and even vulnerability. The core idea is that true strength is not about being invulnerable. It is about having a core so strong that you are no longer afraid to be vulnerable. The emotionally solid man is not an emotionless man. He is the man who has mastered his emotions to such a degree that he can engage with his own feelings and the feelings of others with clarity, compassion, and courage. Respect comes from the man who is a rock of stability, but who also has the strength to show his heart without losing his center. He is the mountain that can allow a beautiful, delicate flower to grow on its slopes. The benefit is the ability to build the most profound, resilient, and deeply respectful relationships possible. Relationships based on both strength and tenderness, trust and intimacy, solidity and vulnerability. The actionable step to practice this advanced skill is the vulnerability from strength exercise. First, use the techniques we have discussed to achieve a state of inner calm and clarity. Then, choose to share a genuine feeling or a point of vulnerability with your partner, not as a complaint or a demand, but as a simple, objective statement of your inner state. For example, instead of a needy, reactive statement like, "You make me so angry," the strong, vulnerable statement is, "When that situation happens, I feel a surge of anger, and that is difficult for me." Instead of a fearful shutdown, it is, "I'm feeling afraid of this challenge ahead, but I am committed to facing it." This is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of immense self-awareness and strength. You are trusting your partner with your inner world from a position of solidity, not from a position of collapse. This is what builds unbreakable bonds. I encourage you to try this practice when the time is right. Use your strength not just to be a wall, but to be a safe harbor where real connection can flourish. We have journeyed through the 7 pillars of emotional solidity, from the deep roots of inner strength to the profound courage of vulnerability. This path teaches us that the respect we seek from others is a natural echo of the respect we first build for ourselves. Through the challenging but rewarding work of mastering our own inner world and building a character of stone. Thank you for your time and for investing in your own strength and character. If this video has served you on your journey, please like this video, comment with your greatest takeaway, and subscribe to the Stoic Power channel for more wisdom on building a life of profound strength and integrity.